Now, in our country today, you have a Democratic Party and you have a Republican Party. Now, what I know, and I know many of you know, is that you really don't have a Republican Party and a Democratic Party. Indeed, they are having one heck of a party on your naivete, because they are all made up of the Masonic Party. So get the champagne out and cheer. The people who run this country are untold volumes of Freemasons and always have been. The proof will be seen shortly. Any betters? Anybody want to put a couple thousand right here to bet me that that's not true? I guess I'll remain broke. In 1864, Pius IX. Nor are things any better or circumstances calmer in America, where some regions are so hostile to Catholics that their government seem to deny by their actions the Catholic faith they claim to profess. In fact, there, for the last few years, a ferocious war on the Church, its institutions, and the rights of the Apostolic See has been raging. Venerable brothers, it is surprising that in our time such a great war is being waged against the Catholic Church. Do you remember Shirley speaking yesterday? Talking about we're in the middle of a war? Middle of a war? Middle of a war? The war is almost over, finished, finito, adieu, and hardly anyone has even awoken to the fact that there is a war going on, and even who the war is against. I always thought the war was against communism. We sent hundreds of thousands of men to fight communism. We sent hundreds of thousands of men to fight Nazi Germany. Isn't that who the war is against? Isn't it against Stalin? Isn't it against Lenin? Isn't it against Hitler? Whoa, what a blow to my mind to find out that the war is against Rome. As a matter of fact, in a book written by Freemason Dara, 33rd degree, he says in the Evolution and History of Freemasonry, the bitterest enemy of Freemasonry is the Church of Rome. Wow. I didn't know there was a war going on, and no one that's Catholic at my church has bothered to tell me. How would I ever know? The priest didn't tell me. The bishop didn't tell me. The Catholic news doesn't tell me. Who's going to tell anyone? Let's see what Pope Leo XIII in Humanum Genus said, April 20th, 1884. He said, at this period, point 2, the partisans of evil is what he called them, seem to be combining together. Who might that be? And to be struggling with united vehemence, led on or assisted by that strongly organized and widespread association called the Freemasons. Point 3. It is our office, he said, to point out the danger, to mark who are the adversaries. Who's pointing out the danger? Where's our clergy? What's going on? Do I have to turn to Don McElvaney? Point 4, he mentions capital enemy and dark conspiracy. He's the third one in a row to mention that there's a conspiracy. This is contiguous. This is continuous. And already we've gone from 1832 to 1884. Point 6, this apostolic see denounced the sect of the Freemasons and publicly declared its constitution as contrary to law and right, to be pernicious no less to Christendom than to the state. It forbade anyone to enter the society. Point 7, its consequence, the sect of Freemasons grew with a rapidity beyond conception, and in a course of a century and a half, that's 150 years, grew until it came to be able by means of fraud and of audacity to gain such entrance into every rank of the state as to seem to be almost its ruling power. I want to pause right there for just 1 second. For some time, I have been entering on a spreadsheet. I want you to look at this screen right here. I have been entering on a spreadsheet Freemasons who are members of our government. I've been taking these names from a book called 10,000 Famous Freemasons, listed in alphabetical order from A to Z. This is not a Catholic book. It's not a Protestant book. It's a Masonic book. They don't list governors one by one by one by one, although we have that in the back if you want them. We ferreted that out. You have to go from A to Z. So amongst A, you have some governors, some senators, some this, some that, just like any other organization would. Well, I'm so far in now into the Fs. I've been at this for about a year. We kind of do this in my spare time, and my wife and I kind of laugh about how stupid I am to sit down and continue to do this. I don't really need to do this anymore. I have the picture. Let's see if you can get the picture. What we do is we just throw these on the screen, and then we sort. We sort by job description, and we sort by year. So what ends up happening here is primarily alphabetical order of job opportunity in the United States of America. I am going to scroll, just for the benefit of time, down through, but I'm going to point out to you that what Pope Leo said in 1884 is absolutely on the money. Absolutely, unequivocally the truth. And no one now can deny it because we have the proof. So you can say that the Catholic Church lies. You can say that these popes talked about something that does not exist. But we now have the proof. Here we go. Let's look at our military. Rear admirals. Now, we could just page over here. I have whether they're a 33rd degree Mason or a Royal Arch Mason or Scottish Rite Mason or just a Mason. I have their names. I have the years. But you can see as I scroll up and down, we have any number of rear admirals. Now, one of the interesting things is it would appear from my study that at the end of World War II, anyone who was a rear admiral was a Freemason. Now, one could argue that and say, well, that's not true. There was one person who wasn't. Fine, you find him. Look at our ambassadors. Now, you have to remember, I'm only into the Fs. I haven't even finished the Fs. Here's a few anti-Masons listed in 10,000 Freemasons. Let's see who they are. Clement V. Bernard Fay, Ferdinand VI, Clement XII, Millard Fillmore, Charles G. Finney, Francisco Franco. Archbishop of Canterbury is a Freemason, or at least was at that time. I'm sure he still is. Many architects. Argentine president. There you go, sister. Assistant to this, assistant to that. In this case, assistant director to the OSS. What is the OSS? It's the CIA, folks. Assistant to the Secretary of the Treasury, and so on and so forth. Here's Attorney Generals of the United States and of many different states. Various bishops. Episcopal bishops especially. Oh boy, those Episcopal bishops love Freemasonry. I don't think you can be a bishop in the Episcopal Church unless you're a Freemason. Here's a number of Methodists, Protestant Episcopal. It's just one after another. The Boy Scouts were founded by Freemasons. Do you recall that there was a time when the Catholic Church said some negative things about the Boy Scouts? Why was that? Why would that be? I understand now, I didn't understand then. So what's the matter with the Boy Scouts? You get to go out with your dad and you